Well, it's a good morning in the UK, and obviously it's a good evening here in Queensland on the east coast of Australia. I might say it's a really cold Queensland day. It's a day where you wear Hug boots and you wear beanies. And then you talk to these two ladies above us, and they've got Queensland weather in the 30s, would you believe? Yeah. So for our friends, 7 o'clock in Queensland, 9 o'clock in the UK, 9 o'clock, I beg your pardon, New Zealand, for our friends across the ditch. And I'm going to pass you over to Andrena, who's at the very, very top of the totem pole today.
Hi, welcome everybody that's listening to Dreaming the New Dream, wherever you are in the world, or if you're listening to the replay. Today is the 21st of July, 2022, and it's a number 7 day for those of you that are into your numbers. It's my great pleasure to have on the show today Hilary Stanley, who is from Bournemouth. Now, if I go back a few weeks, I went to the healing weekend and Hilary was there, but I didn't actually meet her. And I'm sure I've seen her over the years, but we haven't really connected. Anyway, I met a few people and I thought they'd be good to come on the show. So I messaged one lady and she couldn't do it. And then she gave me Dan's number, and then Dan gave me your number. So through a series of connections, welcome. So it's lovely to have you on the show, and you're just down the road from me. So I'm sure we'll meet up soon for a cup of coffee and a catch up. So I know you're known as the Purple Flame Lady or the Violet Flame Lady, and that's something I've worked with for years and years and years. So I'm looking forward to hearing you sharing your story. So I know you said that you were born in London, in Hammersmith. So would you like to share your story of how you unfolded to be doing all this amazing work?
Oh, thank you, Andrena. Thank you, and to you, Jeff, for having me on the show. It's lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you, Andrena, and know that you're only just down the road. So yes, that coffee is definitely on.
You're on.
The Violet Flame, I think, came into my life only early 2000s. But yeah, from right at the beginning, you know, in Hammersmith, I don't remember London at all. We moved to Singapore when I was 3, but I grew up. My father was very spiritual, and his father was a spiritualist. So I had that side always there in our family. My mum was very Christian, so we were going to Sunday school, and so I had kind of a bit of a balance there, but neither one of them sort of forced their beliefs on either myself or my sister. We were allowed to make our own minds up. So I just grew up with the deep sort of philosophy of being good to each other and doing the best you can, and it doesn't matter if you don't, so long as you try your hardest. So a lot of those spiritual values were there in my family right from the start. So I feel very, very lucky. I think I chose them very, very well.
Yeah, definitely.
I did. Yes, I did. But the Violet Flame, early in 2000s, I was working with a group of people who we all knew that we could astral travel, go out of body. And that used to happen to me as a child a lot. And I would just find that I was not there in my body. I was just somewhere else. And I used to get into terrible trouble at school for it because geography was boring. I'm sorry, Miss Blake, but it was. And so I would just go. And until she threw the blackboard eraser at me, which was a block of wood with some fabric round it, and she would throw it at me, and I would thud back into my body, and everything was shaking, and I'd look around the class and thinking, where am I? Who am I? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
And I thought that was normal. All my school reports were Hilary must stop daydreaming in class. So I thought, oh, well, everybody daydreams. So it wasn't until I was an adult and met a medium who said, gosh, you do a lot of astral traveling. And I thought, a long time ago, I was very naive. And I thought, I don't travel anywhere. I haven't even got a passport. What's she talking about? It was just, she said, your energy goes out of your body just like that. And I went, no, it doesn't. And I thought, she's being really rude about me because no, I'm really grounded and I'm really stable and normal. And she went, no, you're not. And she taught me how to control that, how to be able to do it at will, to let my energy go and to bring it back. And it was just an amazing experience. And then we sat together and she told me how to, why I do it, what it's for, what's the point. So it was really to help people understand their previous lifetimes, that I could go and trace their energy back into another life. So back to when we set up this group, to a group of us who also all work like in that way, we would work to go and release negative energy that had gone into the earth. So we'd work week by week, 7 of us. So nice that it's a 7 day today.
Yeah.
7 is the number of violet flame. 7 and 3, and there's 3 of us on this 7 day. So we were going out and releasing the negative energy. And the first time we did it, Mark, who led us into meditation, said, we invoke the violet flame to cleanse us of any negativity, because if we're traveling out of body to release negativity from the earth, we don't want to take any of our rubbish with us, any of our worries or concerns. So he said, imagine breathing in violet light and breathing out any grey, beige, or whatever colour you want, any negativity that's within you. So I sat there and I imagined breathing in all this violet light, and I sat there and I thought, this is me. This is me. Somehow it was just that feeling that this is me. This is the light I carry. And I didn't know what to say, and I thought, I can't go around telling people that, because it's just way too weird. So I didn't say anything for a long time, and just kept it to myself, and I kept working with it and kept working with the guides and guardians of it, deepening my knowledge and understanding of it. And it just sort of grew and grew, and I started thinking more and more about it, working more with it. And when I opened a shock and healing centre in Bournemouth in 2007 and called it Amethyst, for Holy Amethyst, which is the twin flame of Archangel Zadkiel, but also Amethyst the crystal. So it was there when I was there, and the first workshop I ran on the violet flame to teach people lasted for 4 hours. And I thought, that's it. Now what? And it was just, now it's over 15 weeks and I teach it in 30 hours, because it has just grown and evolved so much over the years. But during that time, I went to a wholesaler to stock up on books and odds and ends for the shop. And I saw a picture on the wall there, and it was just as I see a violet flame temple on another world. So I said to Willow, my friend who worked there, what's that? What's that picture? And she said, I don't know. It's by Walter Brunel. So she took it down off the wall, and on the back it said Violet Flame Temple. So I said, I want to meet him. So she said, well, he's coming over. We've got an open day next month. He's coming over. He's Belgian. So he's coming over, and they'll be here. Diana Cooper was there. Judy Hall was there. Joe, who does all the lovely fantasy pictures. Joe Wall. So I went to this event thinking, I can't wait to meet the guy who did that. It made that image. And so I was standing there, and it's really crowded. And I looked over, and I could see him there with crowds of people around him. And then Willow came and tapped me on the shoulder and said, Walter wants to meet the lady with the shiny violet aura.
I love it.
Wow. So went over, and it was just big hug, and it was sort of, hello, my friend. And that was it. We've been friends ever since. He's coming over next week, and I'm so excited to see him. But he did the front cover of my book and CDs that I know Jeffrey just put up on screen. So that was Walter Brunel, still a very good friend. Worked with him in lots of different different aspects and different ways. That's one of the fallen angels, another one that I shall be bringing to life soon. So
Yeah,
lots
so
of workshops coming up.
Yeah, amazing. So you got to meet the guy, you know, and it's amazing. Like the picture called you in, and you know, when you follow the stepping stones.
Yes, all
Or
those synchronicities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. So, because I know you do crystal, tarot, dragons, and I showed you the little dragon that I was gifted yesterday.
Yes.
So how did dragons come into your awareness? Because they're coming more and more, aren't they?
Yes,
Now
they
more
are.
and more calling in that energy.
They are. Right from a child, I was born in the astrological sign of the dragon, the water dragon. There's my violet flame one.
That's a nice one, like that.
Yes, it's lovely. It really shows that dragons don't all breathe fire. But that was the only way people could depict the power of the breath, the healing breath. It's actually, as you can see, the spiral there. And it's really at the end. So it's the power of their breath that they could only interpret as fire. They don't actually breathe fire because they're not that destructive. But they are very, very powerful. But yeah, I was born in the year of the dragon, and apparently as a child, I used to cry if there were stories of dragons being hurt or slaughtered. So my dad used to tell me lovely stories of dragons. He used to make them up for me.
Oh.
And when my children were little, he wrote them all out on his old typewriter on that very, very thin paper. And for my children to read, you know, nice stories, waking up the lovely dragon in the hills and see if there's anything he wants. So again, it was Walter, 2009, he came over from Belgium and ran a workshop on dragons energy for a satirist. And it was just, oh, good grief. There is such a huge dragon here. And I could feel him and resonated very much with his energy. And all the dragons, they don't seem to like names because a name can't define them. So I tend to go by the crystal that it reminds me of. So this great big dragon was black with tinges of a deep, deep pink, purpley pink, very much like the crystal sugilite. So to me, he's my sugilite dragon, and I have a sapphire, and I go by the crystal they remind me of. They don't mind names because they know that's for our benefit, not theirs.
Yeah.
So for me, it just made sense to recognize them by the crystal they reminded me of. So yeah, he's been around and helping me and teaching me a lot. I worked for a while with two others. As one course came to an end here, there was a lovely couple who'd done the whole course with me over a year, connecting with other beings from Archangels, Ascended Masters, Elohim, Elementals. And they said, what can we do now? And I said, I'm going to take some time out to work with the dragons. I want to bring through their energy. And they said, can we help? And I went, oh, yes, please. The three of us sat for 9 months every week. We'd meditate, we'd ask questions, we'd bring through information. We worked really, really well as a team and brought through so much information from them. It was just an incredible journey. And then I wrote it all up into a workshop, and that was 2016. I ran the first one. And that's a painting by lovely Patrick Gamble.
Oh, yeah. That's nice, yeah.
Dragons. Yeah. Their energy is really coming through to so many more people now because they have such wisdom. They have a bigger picture. They see the overview of the whole earth from, you know, right, whether you think it's the Big Bang or whether you think it just evolved. But they see the whole evolution of mankind and the earth. And they're working with us now to try and help the earth, and we influence it the most.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're wonderful.
So you spoke about your dad and his stories. Have you got them ever reprinted and put into a book?
No, I haven't, but I had them up in the loft. My eldest granddaughter was very, very psychic when she was little, and we were up in the loft one day, and I said to her, you know, I'm looking for those stories of Granddad, and she was looking for fancy dress costumes, and she went, "They're over there, Grandma, under that pile of other stuff," and I found them. So I still got them on that thing. I will. I will one day. It's on the to-do list, Andrena, but you know that never gets finished, does it?
No, it's like on a day I think, right, I'm going to write down the things my to-do list, and then at the end of the day, I can guarantee that I haven't done half of those things, but I've done other things completely, and I think, oh well, you know, I did what was on the day.
Yes, and I often add on to the to-do list the things I've already done, just so that I can tick them off.
Yeah, I do that as well. It looks good. You feel like you've done something.
It does. Oh, it's just such a fascinating life. I think there is so much to learn, and the more you learn, the more you realise you don't know.
Yeah,
and we never stop, do we?
No, amazing. So I see Andrew asked, but obviously Saint Germain is linked with the violet flame. So is he your main person that you work with? Because I know when I spoke to you previously, you talked about, because I said, like, I always invoke, I am the violet flame wherever I go to do, and that's just the way I work. But yes. I know you talked about different levels and layers of the violet flame, which I don't really know about, to be honest, but I don't worry about that. I just do what I do and know what I do. So can you explain more about the levels of the violet flame?
Yes. Saint Germain is the one that brought it back to our conscious awareness. I've just looked at the screen and there's a lot of violet. This wall behind me is turquoise. I don't know if you can see it, but on the screen it's gone very violet around the edge.
Now I can see your aura. When you were talking, I can see blue around your head and I can see green on your shoulders. But to me, it looks grey behind you.
Oh, yeah, it's actually turquoise.
Oh, right.
But it's got the violet around the edge, so it makes it look a bit grey. Sorry, yes, Saint Germain brought it back to our conscious awareness in 1929, knowing that the Earth was going to go through huge changes. So as it's grown and we've evolved and worked with it, we found lots of other different sort of beings, different energies, different light beings who work on that same ray. So as it's evolved, we now work with like the pearlescent violet with Kuan Yin. And pearlescent violet is a beautiful, gentle light. We've got iridescent for Archangels Akashic, where it's much brighter and helps us to shine our light. There's luminous, there's phosphorescent, there's all sorts of different qualities of light that are all violet, but have just a slightly different frequency. And each of those have a different guardian or director of it, but all on that seventh ray. So they're the ones I worked with through lockdown to bring through the higher rays or the faster frequencies.
Yeah.
There's no real higher or lower. It's just things that vibrate to faster and faster and faster frequency, right up to ultraviolet. So we have the violet black with Melchizedek. We have the violet platinum with Master Cozy. Saint Germain is silver violet. They all have a different aspect of it and different quality of that light. So it brings to a slightly different frequency and for a different purpose or a different aspect that we can work with. So it's been, I know, COVID and the lockdowns, dreadfully sad for some people. But for me personally, it gave me the opportunity to do all sorts of things that I hadn't done before. I got my paints out and painted the faces of the Archangels as I see them. And I was able to write a lot of things that I hadn't got round to, that had been on the to-do list in the back of the head,
Yeah.
for a long time, and create the Violet Flame Oracle cards as well, which was
Oh, they look nice.
I've been really, really pleased with those. I've worked with Jilly Hobson on those. She's a local lady who I've known for years, and it was something I'd wanted to do since Amethyst days. So I had the time to write the words, and I thought, but whose images can I use? And I wanted them to be instantly recognizable by anybody. And Jilly's name just kept going in my head. So I contacted her and said, Jilly, I know we haven't seen each other for ages, but do you fancy working on an oracle deck with me? And she went, oh, yes. And it just gelled. It just worked. So her images are beautiful. We made some of them a bit more violet on the Photoshop.
Yeah.
And then worked with them, and her images really spoke the words to me. I just wrote what they said, and then had them printed ourselves into this Violet Flame Oracle card deck, which people seem to like, thankfully. So it's doing well.
Yeah, no, they look nice. So, yeah, I mean, you know, you go into some of these shops now, and there's just cards and cards, just so many varieties now.
Yes,
yeah, but no, good on you for getting them out there, eh?
Yeah,
and like you say, COVID, you know, there's a lot of pluses and there's a lot of minuses. You know, there was a balance. It gave people the time not to go anywhere, to be still, to connect with neighbors, and or things in the house, or bring out their creative. So yeah, so you know, there was a balance for a lot of people that they went within and did much more than they'd ever done before. So and that's what you've got to look at, the positives of, you know, what it's brought together. And you know,
yes, definitely.
Especially Zoom meetings, like you say. I mean, you know, I've been on lots of Zoom meetings, different things, and that's obviously the way of reaching out around the world. You know, you talk to people anywhere around the world nowadays. I mean, it's just amazing.
It is, because we knew that this would happen many, many years ago in the meditation group I used to run. We were all getting the same messages. There's something coming. There's going to be a lot of souls leaving the earth. There's something coming. It's going to be a big reset. And we were thinking, oh gosh, if a lot of people are going to go, we'd better start making plans. Now, this was before I had Amethyst. So we're going back 2005, 2006. And we set up the group of us. We decided that we'd have to have a meeting point somewhere, that if the world went to pieces, fell apart, we knew it would be a virus. We didn't know what sort. So my first in-laws had a little cottage out in the New Forest, and whoops, I still had the key. No longer, they've sold it. But I drew up a plan of where it was, and I said, look, if there's only, you know, just a few people left, let's try and get there. So I said, it's 17 acres of land. You know, if there's anybody staying there, I hope they won't mind. But it was their holiday cottage, so I hoped it might be available for us. And we all took on a list of responsibilities. So I was getting tents and sleeping bags and pillows, and another lady was getting sort of remedies for snake bites and things that we might need if we're camping out in the forest. And one lady said, I'll fill my garage with Andrex. She said, because I don't mind going for a poo in the woods, but I need something soft to wipe my bum on. So, of course, when it did eventually hit, what was the thing that was missing from all the shops?
Yeah.
Paper. So I sent her a message now. It's you, isn't it, Sam? Your garage is full of it.
I love it.
And it didn't happen. And we got complacent. So when it finally did, we were going, oh my God, why has this taken so long? And I do think it is for technology to catch up. It was so that we could all keep in touch. Because back then, Zoom meetings,
you
know, just social media, just a little bit, but not very much. So it was almost like, right, now's the right time. Let's get this clearance, great clearing of the earth and this reset. So yeah, it was just, it's always, every time I see her, I ask her how her stash of the toilet paper is. But we just had that feeling it was coming, but didn't know when. So
Yeah,
it was an opportunity.
Yeah, and I know, like, we all knew something was coming, but I don't think we had any idea what was coming, really. No. But anyway, so and changes are still happening, you know. The show's not over yet, hey?
No, that fat lady's not singing.
No.
But the dragons, we had a dragon group going just as it was starting, and our final get together before we were all locked down, and all of us meditating with our own sort of dragons that we connect with. And we came back from that last meditation and went, it was cartoon. All of us had these dragons in cartoon form, and we went, no, that's not the dragon's energy. And they were all laughing. And we had such funny tales of our meditations that last time, and we went, we're not supposed to take this too seriously from the dragon's point of view, which is the bigger picture. We've just got to keep our sense of humour and get through it. But it was just, we all had cartoon images. And we thought that was the message from the dragons, our last one before lockdown. Light, keep it light-hearted.
Easier said than done when you're in it, eh?
Yeah, but having that input from them really helped. We kept being able to remind each other, look, the dragon said, don't forget, it's just not a joke, but it's something not quite real. So keep thinking of it in that way. So yeah, it helped a lot.
Yeah. So I think, like, maybe for some of our listeners who are maybe new to working with dragons or tarot or any, what sort of stepping stones or guidance would you give to people that are waking up, if you like, they're realizing there's more to life, and they're either feeling they can see colors or they're sensing or, you know, all these little things? What guidance would you give people?
Just to give themselves time, not to try too hard. If they can meditate, that's brilliant. And to do that and set aside some time. But if they find that they can't meditate, they're not visual, there's all sorts of other ways that they can connect through their breath to still their body, to calm down. There's lots of different ways. But I find it was heartening at the healing weekend last year that we had so many new people coming, so many people with questions, so many younger people too. And I loved that. And I said, if you can join a group, online or in person, and go and sit with others to meditate or focus on something, just connect with one being, whether it's your guide, whether it's a power animal, whether it's an angel, it really doesn't matter. But the thing that I find with most people is they try too hard. And they think that they want to see with their physical eyes, and they want to hear with their physical ears. And I said, we've got the clairsentient, the clairaudient, the clair, all those sort of clarity of our senses. The best is to feel clairsentience. Feel it. Just know what feels right. If something feels right, it is right. You go to your gut instincts and not to try, because they try too hard, I think, almost desperate to connect. And I say, flick through any spiritual book and just find, an angel or something that you feel, I like that one. And then just send a thought out, and that thought will be picked up. mediums do it with our loved ones, but our loved ones in spirit are only on a very narrow frequency band. I could never be a medium because I can't I can't focus on that. That they reach into that frequency band and they stay there. And they bring through messages from our loved ones, and I'm going, what's up there? What's out there? All this, it's like having a radio to me and only listening to one station.
Yeah,
and it's this one, that's fine. But it's I want to turn the dial and see what else is out there.
Definitely. Right, so we've got a lovely picture here about the Akashic Records. So I, for viewers that don't understand about the Akashic Records, so in my understanding, it's like all of our thought forms and everything is in our own personal book, our own Akashic Records. So can you enlighten us a little more on that subject?
Yes, happy to. Dan, actually, that from Dan Rocks Crystals, asked me to do a talk on it because his group said they were interested in it or they'd heard of it. He said, can you tell me what it is? Because I don't know. So I went and did a talk for them. And then they said, can you run a workshop on it? So yes, okay. So basically, it's, as you said, Andrena, it's all our thoughts, everything we've ever done throughout our lifetimes, everything we've said, all the energy that we've created and put out there is recorded. Now, whether it's in a book, whether it's on a film, a bit like charades, is it on a film, a book, they are there. They are recorded in some energetic form. It's easiest for us to imagine a great big old library, which is why I used that image with a book that opens. But it does say everything about us. It's our complete soul's journey from when we first left that spark as a spark from source, a bit like a solar flare coming off the source. And we have this little flame that goes off to experience life. And that opens up this record of everything that we do and everything that we achieve and learn throughout all our lifetimes. So it's a bit like a totally secret diary. I know there are people in America and over here now who say, we can access and clear your Akashic records. And I think there's things in there I don't want to see. Certainly anybody else don't go peeking in there. Nobody else can clear them for us because they're our journey, they're our lessons. We have to do it ourselves. So I find that's all a bit about money. So I set about and I thought I'd rather teach people how to access their own, how to see what karmic issues or what needs balancing. But in there's things like our gifts, our talents, things that you've brought back to this life and find you can just suddenly do. You've never been taught. For me, it was dressmaking, bizarrely, but I just found I could do it. Hated lessons at school, but then by the time I was 20, I was making wedding dresses.
Oh gosh!
And I could just do it. I just knew. There's family traits, but in my Akashic records, I've done that many times. So those sort of things are in there. Your gifts and talents, the things that you're bringing through to this lifetime. There's all sorts of things in there. Sometimes it's odd quirks and gifts and things that you think, I still do that. So a lot of them were coming through in the past life readings I was doing. So without going and peeking in their Akashic records, because that's I don't feel I should do that. I see snippets of their previous lifetimes, and that's a huge privilege. But it is only for the energy that they're bringing through and is affecting them this lifetime. So I teach people how to, and then I work with 7 of the karmic lords of karma, so it will help people understand different aspects of it. So it's something that feels that's a responsibility, and that's just the way I like to work. I wouldn't want anybody to go peeking in mine because things now I'm not too happy about, but we've not always been love and light.
No.
So we've had to learn. So
Mm.
yes, it's a very personal one.
Yeah.
Very personal to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was I going to say about, I have seen more and more people that are doing Akashic workshops or meditations and what have you. And I have to say, it's not something I've really delved into at the moment. You know, whether I will or not, I don't know. And I know, and also timelines. I was listening to somebody a couple of weeks ago saying, you know, she was deleting that timeline and she was deleting that timeline, and yeah, so there's a lot out there of different ways of doing things, and obviously you have to find what resonates with you.
Yes.
You know, along the pathway, don't you, really? But
Yes.
and it's being aware of, if you think, you know, that intuition is telling you, isn't it?
Yes, always go with your intuition. But it is, I just feel, you know, ethically and morally, it's something I would rather people do for themselves. And with the guidance of those lords of karma, they can help hugely. So yeah, but there is a lot out there. They say there's something out there for everybody, and you have to go with what you're drawn to. But for me, it's a responsibility. And so that's just the way I work. And I love doing that one. It's been a very popular course that's coming up again soon, I think. So yeah, it's a lovely way to do it, I think, over 7 weeks. It takes it a bit more time.
And it's not too long, is it? Because I personally don't like long drawn out things. I think, oh God, I like to do it. Move on. Jeffrey, I think you need a glass of water.
Good idea. Cheers.
Cheers. So how many books have you written? I know Jeffrey's flashed up some. So how many have you written up to date?
I've one published, which was 2013, and I've written articles and all sorts of things, so many manuals. I keep being told, put everything else into another book. Having had that one published and paid a lot of money for it, I've always sort of shied away from going to a publisher. But my friend Caroline, who has just published another book, on her first book on the dragons. So Caroline Mitchell. So I saw she had it published by Watkins Books. So I might have a look at them, because I've got so much material written, so much, you know, that was a practical guide. I haven't included in that all those different directors, guardians, ascended masters, archangels. That's the one I wanted to write next. But now, since lockdown, it's expanded even further. I was woken up one morning very, very early, 4:44.
Yeah.
And whenever I see the 4s on the time clock, I always think, oh, it's one of the ascended masters there. And I could see Sanat Kumara standing there, and get up, we want you to write this down. And it was all the higher rays of the violet flame, plus a lot of other light frequencies that are out there. So I was recording the time, and they stopped. I told my slot, and he said, you to stop doing this, we want to reach more people. So he gave me just 12 different shoes, and it was all the higher frequencies, or faster frequencies, right out in the universe beyond those that we see here. So each week we would just explain what they were and who was being contacted through the ray. So I've got all that written out. I think I've got to get this all together at some point. So that plan. That's like on the to-do list, Andrena. Another book.
A long to-do list, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, too. But
Have you got any more cards? Are you going to do any dragon cards? Have you got that in the pipeline?
Oh, well, something happened. Sometimes I do a set of cards, and that started painting the dragons were coming through him. And he said, kind of driven me in another direction. Okay, when you're ready. He's another dragon and for that one. So to make it a picture. So but that's how it came.
We've got an audio problem coming from Hilary. I think her Wi-Fi internet connectivity has been somewhat. You can see her videos sort of got all googly there, so her connectivity's weakened off there. So yeah,
I froze. Yeah. Now.
What do you want to do?
Cleared now.
Yeah.
No, you're still funny because I wasn't sure if it was my end, but obviously it's yours. I'm glad it's not my end, but it's your end.
So
yeah, just connectivity. Yeah.
All the light.
Ever since you started talking about dragon cards, I think that's what happened there.
It's a dragon card.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, I nearly thought we had a good.
You've thrown.
Health. Might be best if you tell them to step back.
Yeah. Right, dragons.
Away.
She started to get some connectivity there. Yeah. All right. So.
Back.
No, it's still funny.
Yeah, you might have to, as Andrew's just come in and said, you might have to do a reboot of your modem.
Reset it.
Yeah.
Or I can flick you off. Yeah, I really think it's, yeah, look, sometimes it comes in and then it goes back out. What do you want to do?
Well, we can keep talking a minute if you like and let Hilary switch off and come back on, see if that works. So try that.
Yeah.
So, because I wasn't sure if it was this end, because I know sometimes it happens this end, but I thought, so, yeah, so it's obviously the dragon energy coming in. So let me show viewers. Right, this is what I was gifted yesterday. So it's a dragon skull, if you like, and right. So yeah, so I was gifted this yesterday, and Andy makes some, and he's got all sorts. Oh my gosh, he made crystal. He's got pyramids, and it's just amazing. So truly blessed to receive this yesterday. So obviously calling in more dragon energy. So yeah.
Is that better?
Oh, hang on a sec. I'll just flick you back in here. 2 seconds.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, thank goodness for that. Yes, those pesky dragons wanting to make their energy felt. So,
definitely.
That's a lovely one that Andy made.
Yeah, no, I just when I saw it on his side, and I didn't realize he makes them. It's got crystals and what's the stuff, organite in, and he does all these lovely different things, and yeah, so that was lovely. I was very honored to have a dragon, because I haven't, he's got lots of crystal skulls as well, and I said, Chris, I've sat with, a big one when a lady was over from America, but crystal skulls are not something that I feel drawn to. I'm
Okay.
more dragons, dolphins, and angels is me, but not to say that they might come in my pathway, but it's not something that I. So, do you work with crystal skulls?
Yes, I have done. I like the fact that crystal can be programmed, particularly quartz. Very easy to program. They do emit energy. That's why we use them in watches and clocks and computers, and we use quartz a lot, and all sorts of crystals. In ruby is used in lasers, so a lot of crystals used. So they can be programmed. They can be infused with a lot of knowledge and wisdom. So I found that the crystal skulls, the legends that go right across the earth, ancient legends of beings from other worlds, other realms, and other dimensions coming to Earth, wanting to impart knowledge and wisdom to us for a future time. And so they took the crystals and carved them into the shape of what we recognize as the holder of the knowledge, the brain, the skull, because we would always, throughout our evolution, recognize that that's what holds the knowledge that we want. So the legends of all these ancient indigenous people say that there were skulls buried on Earth to release the information when it was needed. Now, I don't think we need to go and dig them all up, because we can program the quartz. If we carve it into the shape of a skull, for us, that means that sets the intent, and we can link to those ancient ones through that crystal skull. So that to me made a lot more sense, that we can just access the information that they held through working with the crystal skulls. So yes, not the macabre, sort of skeletons and grim reaper type, because that's holders of information, and they can access the wisdom through that. So yeah, I do like them. I do have a couple. But,
all right.
Yeah, I have worked with them quite a bit.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's like different things that we're drawn to, and like I said, I see them, but I don't. I'm aware of them, put it that way. But whether they'll come into my pathway or no,
no, it doesn't matter. It's what's right for you and what's right for you at the time. And what frequency, what dimension you want to work in, or what you want to do. It's like there's lots of things I've never been drawn to, and I don't think I ever will.
No.
Mediumship, that's not for me. And that, there's lots of things not for me. I've never been drawn to massage cooking. Usually, I can almost hear friends going cooking, gardening. I'm not drawn to those at all.
I always say I'm a goddess, but I'm not a domestic one. that gets me out the cooking.
I like that. That's lovely. Yes. Perfect.
I'd rather do the dishes than cook.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. Right, I saw flashed up, Andrew was saying about working with the violet flame. So what would you tell people that haven't invoked the violet flame before, what to do?
Right. There was a little book by Elizabeth Clare Prophet years and years ago, a little square book on the violet flame, said repeat a decree, which is just 2 rhyming lines, and repeat it over and over and over again. So that was, I tried, and I was bored, and it just doesn't. Also, being a real pedantic on the English language, the lines didn't rhyme properly, and it irritated me. So then I found another book by them, and in it was a quote from the Elohim of the seventh ray, Archangels Victoria, saying, "We don't mind what you do with the violet flame. Sing it, dance it, run it, do marathons with it. It doesn't matter. So again, take the pressure off. Do whatever you want. Paint it, draw it. It doesn't, get your crayons out. It really doesn't matter what you do. It's the focus of your mind.
Intention, isn't it?
Yeah. So the first one, the first connection I had was with Kuan Yin, who's also one of the Lords of Karma. She gives us access to our Akashic Records. So a lot of what I do all ties in one to the other. But Kuan Yin she's a lovely Oriental goddess. There's a lot of statues and pictures of her, often sitting cross-legged within a lotus, sometimes riding on the back of a dragon in the universe. But with her hair and a headdress piled up high, she sits sometimes holding a bottle of elixir, sometimes with a piece of wheat. She's beautiful, beautiful Oriental goddess, very well known in Buddhist countries, not just China. But she came and stood in front of me and she held out a bowl to me. And she said, look into the bowl. What do you see? And I looked in and I went, nothing. I thought, it's an empty bowl. What is she doing? And she said, keep looking. And you know, when you lose your focus, when you're just staring at something, thinking, I don't know what I'm supposed to see, let my focus go. And then I could see light in there and I could see the light flickering. And I said, I can see flickering light and it's kind of violet. And she said, okay, let it grow, build it up. And okay. So the more I looked at it, the more I imagined it growing until this bowl was just a huge flame. And then she just blew it into my heart. And it was just that. And I came back from that meditation and thought, got it.
Yeah.
And it was just that simple. But I think just your thoughts, just your intent. We all know the power of thought. Just set that intent. Focus on the colour. Set that intent. I invoke the universal violet flame. Like Mark had taught us, just breathe in violet. Breathe it out. Or you can, when you connect, when you send your roots down into the earth for grounding, because it's something else I'm always banging on about, apparently.
Yeah.
Grounding, clearing, protection. Big passion.
Yeah.
If you send a root or a cord right to the center of the earth, you can draw up all the colors that we see in our rainbow. And we're all formed out of light. So we already contain all those colors of light, all those frequencies. Just focus on the violet stream of light that's in you. Imagine it all building up at your heart. And when light becomes very bright and very intense, it starts to move. And if you invoke the violet flame from the universe, like a laser coming down to your heart center, the two meet and they spark into a flame within you. And when that flame is lit, it's there forever. Just there's all sorts of ways that you can use that. So it's within everybody. So I do get asked, are there any attunements to it? And I always say that I can't change your energy field.
No.
I can't make your energy violet, but you can. So yeah, so I teach people that too, how to do it themselves. It's a kind of DIY process.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Is we've got all the keys within us, we've got all the tools, and it's about tapping into our own instead of going to somebody's and like you say, they're doing a violet flame activation and they'll, you know, do whatever. And no disrespect to people that are doing that, that's fine. But it's all about us being the instrument, us being the tool, you know, us being the key to our own. You know, we've got so much more that we haven't tapped into, and it's just a process, isn't it? You're opening more and more, you're clearing and freeing stuff up, and you know, it just goes on and on and on.
Oh, there she is! Look on the dragon. Yeah, and of course Saint Germain incarnated as Merlin, also connected to a dragon. So it is, and his twin flame, Lady Portia, also one of the karmic lords. So they all do tie in. Yes, she is really beautiful. Look.
And I think I shared with you that my sister's got 2 10-foot dragons that we pulled up in the parade in Beltane one year in in Glastonbury years ago. Oh my God.
And she's a water dragon like me.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's a Capricorn and a water dragon. Yeah, so you'll have a lot in common when you meet.
Yes, that'll be lovely. Can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
so Andrew's saying, how good is violet in a rainbow?
It's the fastest frequency of light that we can see. So light can be measured like a sound wave. So the frequency of red is what a deep and bass note in sound, and violet, I can't reach it, very high and very fast. So beyond that violet light of the rainbow, it goes into another octave of light and another octave of sound. There's a violet flame halo on the wall behind you. Sorry, I just saw that. Yes, around you, Andrena.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
I can see it. I can see yours.
I can see yours. So it's lovely as we're talking about it. It does show itself.
And it's like you say about the red, like, because I work with color and voice and sound and what have you. Red is the base chakra, so it's the heavier energy, and it's the grounding, the family, and all of that. So like as you get up and up, it's lighter, and you know, and it's amazing how all these things are interlinked.
Yes, everything is. And as our crown chakra, it's where we change from being physical energy to spiritual energy. So it's on that border of change. So the energy of transformation is because it's the edge of our rainbow, because it's the edge of us. Beyond that, we change. So if we're going through changes or we want to create change, we focus on that frequency of light, and it gives that boost of energy to help see us through.
And I know now the rainbows, like people are seeing double rainbows, and they're bringing in, well, no, there's been newer colors or shades of colors more and more that are coming in now, aren't there?
Yes, and this was what Sanat Kumara was telling me about, the different frequencies of light that we're starting to bring down and help to anchor on the earth so that we can progress. So it is all about change. It's such an exciting time to be alive.
It is just amazing, you know. And I know the other night, well, probably might have been 2 weeks ago now, it was suddenly this excitement come in. Do you know what? I couldn't sleep. I was sat outside in the garden at night, star watching. I was so excited. I thought, oh my God, things are really changing now. And I was sat there thinking, all I want to do is go to sleep, but I couldn't. I was so like this excitement. So so amazing.
We can see why, you know, we chose to be on Earth at this time. Yeah, there's one of Saint Germain with nice, but I usually see him a bit darker than that.
Yeah, no, I can't say. I've seen different pictures. Not the best one I've seen. But going back to dragons, or I took a picture when I was in Brisbane in a storm, and when we put it on the PC, in it is what I call in my rainbow serpent dragon. So but yeah, and in a snapshot of time it just appeared. It's like Jeff might have the photo, but anyway, but yeah, and that was just amazing. So and I know I saw a UFO. We were in Glastonbury a couple of weeks ago with my sister, and she shouted out, and there was this like cigar shape, you know, and it was so clear and it was so bright. It was like, oh my God, it was just amazing. You know, I've seen odd things way in the distance, but never like this. And I know we're being told, you know, the galactics are coming in more and more and into our awareness. So do you work with the galactics as well?
I do, because you know we are part of the universe, but not just this galaxy, but universes. So yeah, there are beings all over the place. You know, I think it's very narrow-minded now. I know for a while my dad said, you know, we'd have picked something up by now. We are the only intelligent life in the universe. And I went, no. No, Dad. You know, I've been there. I've seen them. I've met some of them. It's just no. So we did have long conversations on it. He wanted to, if it hadn't been for the war, he wanted to go to university to do physics. So we had long conversations about the physics, the quality of light, what time is, things like that. So he was my real inspiration. So we'd have great long discussions. But when you said about the rainbow serpent, the two main ley lines of the earth, one is called the rainbow serpent and the other is called the plumed serpent. Well, what is a plumed or a feathered, a winged serpent, if not a dragon? So the main ley lines that go all the way around the earth, around all the earth's chakras, that's another, fascinating thing, to go and visit one of the places where they're the main energy centers of the earth. And look at that lovely rainbow.
Yeah, and you see the dragon so I was just when I saw it, I thought, oh wow. So
look at the dragon's face just coming down over the rainbow. That is so clear. That's a beautiful one.
Yeah, so I didn't see it when I took the picture, and a lot of orb pictures I've taken in the past, I haven't seen them, but when I put them on the camera, I think, oh wow.
Yes, we do. We see so much more now, don't we? Because we have the ability there. But there are lines and ley lines all around the earth, and it's just fascinating. Even going back to the sort of Incan and Mayan times, their god Quetzalcoatl was a plumed serpent. It was a winged dragon type creature. So they've been around since very, very long time. Very long time.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we're all drawn to, because I know me personally, I've worked on the song lines in song lines in Aussie with the gong and what have you, and then we got the ley lines here. So obviously I get drawn to Stonehenge and Avebury, and I know there's a couple places I've been there, I've forgotten what it's called, Badbury Rings.
Yes,
I went
that's for us.
There's another one I want to visit, and I've forgotten what it's called. Something like Mont. It's Mont. MON. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to ask you. But yeah, somebody else said that was another good place to go. So I thought, all right, I'll have to go and visit that one. So
there are a lot. There's a lot, particularly around Dorset. And we tend to get a lot of the crop circles and things,
don't we? Yeah.
Wiltshire, Somerset. It's this area of England that seems to be where they seem to be most prevalent. So yeah, they are. There's just so much now, isn't there? You think, when people say, well, what do I do first? Where do I start? And I go, it doesn't matter where you start. There's Sanat Kumara. It doesn't matter where you start, so long as you start. Just start with whatever draws you, or whoever. If you find somebody that you really resonate with, start with them. It's like when you walk into the hall of a psychic fair and you want a reading. You go around, you don't look at what tool they're using. You look at them. You look at their face, their eyes, their smile, and you pick the reader who resonates with you. It's the same when you're starting off on your spiritual journey. Pick somebody who you resonate with, or just pick a subject. A lot of people start with the angels. And a lot of people start with that because it's something they're familiar with, or they know a bit about.
Right.
So I always say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you start, but start.
Yeah. And like more and more people are waking up to themselves now, aren't they? And different things. And like, the energies of flying, the times, the days are going into weeks, into months, and it's like, God, here we are halfway through July. It'd be August, soon.
I know.
You won't be taking down your Christmas tree soon. It'll be so
But that's time isn't a line. We've got a timeline, start and finish. But I always say to people, imagine that you're standing in a circle. This is why we don't live our lives in chronological order. Standing in a circle, and we choose the experience, we choose what we want to learn, and we come back to a time and a place on earth that can offer us that experience. Then you think that circle becomes a spiral, and that spiral, like an old telephone cord, goes on and on and on. And loops back and joins up on itself. So time is like that. The concept of it being a line is not. We're starting to get our heads around that, I think, a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you've got some workshops coming up. So would you like to share what you've got coming up? So if anybody wants to
Yes, thank you.
follow through.
All those lines. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I know Karen mentioned something about the ballerinas lines from Isle out to Scotland.
Yeah, that's like a main one that connects
the Bellinas line
straight way through England, and a lot of that. Well, as you can see on the map, look, it's that long straight one from the Isle of Wight up to the tip of Scotland, the whole length of it. And it's an incredible line to follow. You know, when people go from Land's End to John O'Groats, I think they're missing the point. You know, do this line, because it is incredible and links up with so many different energies coming across into it. So yeah, it is a brilliant energy line to go. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think, well, the violet flame, the complete violet flame course, I still do it in 3 stages: the foundation, the advanced, and the expanded rays of violet. But I do a complete course of 15 weeks. That's just come to an end now, and that will be running again next year. But I've got coming up the dragons, the tarot reading course, and the Akashic Records and Lords of Karma coming up, and also the Fallen Angels. That's something that's been another fascinating opening, I think, to realise that a lot of these so-called fallen angels were not fallen as in kicked out of heaven. That's a very concept. I know, they weren't disgraced or kicked out. They're actually the ones that have been forgotten or left by the wayside because they were dealing with the depths of our journey, the really difficulties, the things that our soul really struggles with. And they're the angels that have been there with us. They often come through as animals, a bit like the ancient Egyptian gods with their animal heads. These fallen angels come through as or with animals with them. And they help us through the darkest times, you know, when we talk about the dark night of our soul, or when we reach the real depths. These are the angels. And I did put they're regaining their wings, because that just means that that's a lovely picture of Icarus statue at Statues by the Lake, not far from us. Beautiful place, Andrena.
Where you have to tell me where that is, then I have to visit there.
Yeah, it's near Dorchester.
Where?
And it is called Statues by the Lake, by the lakes. And that was one of Icarus that I took when we were out there in the summer. And I just love it that you just think these, you know, he because of the sun and the shadows, he was just all black. And I just feel they're regaining their wings, which really means we're recognizing them again. We're recognizing them as angels. And so that's been lovely working with them. So I picked 9. There's 72 known, at least 72 of the known. Fallen angels, forgotten angels, fallen by the wayside. I picked 9 for the first.
That's a good number.
Yes,
like 9. I'm a 9, so I like 9.
Are you? Well, I'm doing that just over 5 weeks, so it's just introduction and then two per evening. But it's
so what did you call that place? Angels of the Lake or something? What did you call it?
Statues by the Lakes.
I'll have to look into that then. Statues by the Lakes.
By the lake or on the lake?
I think.
Okay.
But no, that picture, that's a lovely picture how you've captured that.
They have amazing statues there. Just all sorts of different things.
Well, it's definitely on my to-do list then.
Yeah, but they had a whole series of Icarus.
Oh.
And it was just that one really caught me. So
where's it? Because it's not coming up. Statues by the Lake.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Unless it's another word for statues.
I forgot it. Sculpture by the Lakes.
Sculptures by the Lakes. Thank you.
And what's the address? What does it say?
Oh, it's 1111.
Woohoo!
Just
That's
as
my
I thought, look for sculptures by the lakes. I think it's near Dorchester.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to investigate that, I reckon.
It's beautiful, and they change the sculptures every so often, so they move them around, but they have some lovely ones there. And it's a lovely walk, all around the lakes, places to sit and have a picnic, and really nice place. There you go, look at that. Sculptures by the lakes. Yeah, not statues.
Nice.
Okay, so you've got Southampton there as a pool, as a location there, and then you've got Bournemouth, pool, and then over here, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Well worth a visit.
Oh, well, that's definitely on my. I can feel I need to go there. I feel like as soon as you said in the picture, I got it's a place I need to go.
There's their little heading picture there is another one of Icarus in the lake. You can just see his reflection up at the top there. Yeah.
That's nice. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, definitely on my to-do list.
Yeah.
I've got a big to-do list.
Yes. But it's lovely when you can tick it off at Polar Bear on the iceberg. There are some spectacular ones there.
Oh, wow. Gosh, amazing.
So,
so you learn something every day, don't you?
Yes, you do. You do. It's fascinating place.
That looks like straight out of Doctor Who, that one.
It does a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, look at those two.
Wow, it must be obviously a big area to wander.
It is big, and walks and paths and lakes to go around and sit by and contemplate, meditate. It is. It's just stunning.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing
that picture I chose was one from there.
Brilliant.
Yeah, lovely subject. So next year, I change around next year. I will be doing other workshops, other courses. I will be doing them here in Bournemouth too, Andrena. So I'll let you know when we're doing.
Yeah, no, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, when we're doing some at home. But yeah, go and visit. Oh, look, there's the one I chose. But
Oh yeah.
I think before they've moved it. But when I was there, it was in amongst the trees. But it does just feel that that's like the fallen angels rising up again. So you're very interesting to work with too. Great help to us.
Yeah.
As we're rising up again. Our energy vibrations are lifting and quickening. So
amazing. Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
There's loads of other things that I'm fascinated by. You mentioned the pyramid that you sat in.
Oh yeah.
At Andy's. I also do pyramid meditations. I've got a copper pyramid made from a big 7-foot one to sit in and meditate in. And I do some sort of meditation days, pyramid meditation days, and they're always lovely because it enhances the energy.
Yeah.
So pyramids, ancient gods of the ancient world. So something else that we've got planned in the pipeline, Lemuria.
Atlantis.
All sorts of things.
There's just so much out there now, isn't it? But I've got a crystal pyramid that I use for sound. At the moment I'm in transition and I'm in a mobile home, which has been lovely. It's been the place I needed to be to do a lot of inner work. And I would have it on a stand at the top of the massage table, so it'd be above their head. And so crystal pyramids, the pyramids keep coming in for me. So, and I was thinking, well, I got mine here, but there's nowhere I can hang it. But in the bedroom, there's cupboards above the bed, and they've got like round knobs on. So I found, so what I've been doing now, I've got it hanging above my head at night. So I haven't had any strange or anything unusual yet since it's been up, but you never know.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's again, energy of transformation and transportation. So where does it take you at night? Because at night it's only our bodies that sleep.
Yeah.
So it will probably enhance your spirit releasing and going off on its own journeys. So dreams and things, if they're not sort of anchored in this physical world where our brains are just trying to logically make sense or file things away from the day, spirit's out and free. So if you've got that pyramid over you while you're asleep, that will help your soul, your spirit, your spiritual energy just rise up and be free at night. So it's probably why you're excited at night, because you're free, you're off out, and the pyramid just enhance that and get you out probably quicker.
Like I do dream a lot, and I write them down, and I've had, they're always strange, my dreams, they're always, but anyway, so
brilliant. We love strange.
I think I am strange anyway, but that's okay.
Best type
I'm
of people.
I'm not alone.
No, never.
Oh,
lovely. In fact, I've got a workshop coming up with Dan as well that I know you spoke to at the healing meeting. We're doing crystals of the Archangels. So that's another nice one. And next year I'll be doing, I think, a year-long monthly course on the Archangels and their Archeia, their female counterparts. That's my dream. That's the violet light all around the earth, transmuting all beautifully. And the one with the heart around it, the violet heart around it. It just feels, overall, all the things I do or things that fascinate me, interest me, I want this earth to be the peaceful, spiritual home.
We can all visualize that, you can sit and visualize the flame in the middle, going all the way around, clearing, cleansing, and purifying, or whatever resonates for people. So
think if everybody did that just for a couple of minutes every day, it would be amazing.
Because there are people say, right, let's all pray for peace at 11 o'clock. Well, of course, all around the world, 11 o'clock's all on a different time scale.
And time doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you do it or how you do it. Even just that thought would just carry so much energy. So, that's why we're here. That's why we chose to come and live through this time. So we're going to do it by whatever means is right for us.
I know. And I know I joke with my friend Yvonne, and we say, we didn't sign up for this. There's no way we would have signed up for this,
Yes, we did.
But we know that we did, and you just have to get through all these different times, eh?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I don't know any spiritual people that have just sailed through life really easily.
No,
Oh, look, there's my other website and a very old picture of me.
Just a few years ago.
It is. That was 2013 probably, because that's the one on the back of my book. That picture. So longer hair and a bit duller. But that was another picture of Walters on the headlines of that. But Spirit Wise is now my that's the website I have that I set up in lockdown, that I still haven't completely finished, but that has all the other things I do on it. So Spirit Wise and Spirit Wise on Facebook. Contains a lot of other.
So people can find you easily and friend you and connect with you.
Please do. It's always lovely to hear from people and hear what they're doing, because it's what we all do together, isn't it, that counts? Not just one of us. We all do a bit, but it's how we all link together. So I'm looking forward to a cup of coffee at the Bear Cafe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, another old picture of me. Look. Long hair.
It's amazing. Yeah, when I look back at some of my pictures, some I think I look older, some I think younger, and some I think, oh my God.
I know. A friend of mine said recently, you're very photogenic, Hilary. And I said, you should see all the ones I delete.
Yeah.
That's one of the paintings. They're the paintings I did of the Archangels.
Wow, they're amazing.
I see them. Yeah. that was good fun.
Yeah,
Good
brilliant.
fun. It's the eyes. I like to try and get the eyes. That's, oh look, I haven't even put the pictures of those up. But yeah, that's coming next year, all those archangels.
Yeah, in progress.
Yes, yes, it is. Well, it's all written. I've only, the whole workshop's written because I've run it before. So I just need to update it and add in some more of the pictures. But yeah, they're the ones. There's 13 that I'll be doing. So it'll run for 13 months. So each month you get another archangel and their Archeia, and you have that month to connect with them, meditate with them, keep a journal, keep notes of any meditations you have or synchronicities that you have. And then we get together the next month, go through it, and then move on to the next one.
Fabulous.
So yes, yeah.
Have you been to Egypt?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. 2010, I went there just as I closed Amethyst, the shop in Bournemouth and Healing Centre. We went to Egypt. Did a 10-day Nile cruise. 2 nights, I think, in Cairo. And we went, and it was snowy here, January. And my partner at the time had messaged ahead and said, could we have a room high up in the hotel so that she can see the pyramids? And then, yes, no problem. So when we got there, we were right on the top floor, and I went, oh, Lee, why'd you come all the way up here? He said, have a look in the morning, because we arrived at 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. Right. So had a sleep, and in the morning I stood there with the curtains and thought, oh, I'm going to see the pyramids. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Pull back the curtains, fog. Oh. And they went, well, it's winter. What do you expect? So it was just, we enjoyed that. Luxor, we flew down to Luxor, and that I loved. The Temple of Karnak was just amazing. And then we joined the river cruise to do all the temples. So, loved it. Have you been?
No, but it's on my to-do list, and my friend Yvonne's been, and so we're planning to go as soon as everything that I know that is clear and there's no problems in any way of traveling, then I'll go. So
it's wonderful. Cairo is not nice energy. The pyramids were nice, but Cairo, awful, dreadful. Felt really quite ill there. I think you go over the river, it's all very, very wealthy one side of the river, and you go over the river and it's so poor. And there's so much, on the rich side, there's so much money grabbing, and apart from the driving, which is absolutely crazy drivers. But I didn't like Cairo. Luxor felt totally different. But then the Ascended Master Serapis Bey has a retreat in the etheric regions over Luxor. So I could feel his energy with us, which was very different and very reassuring. So Luxor was lovely.
But funny because I went out with Kimberly yesterday, and then I went back and I had a cuppa with them, and Andy's been to Egypt 11 times, so he's give me the heads up when I go, where to go and where not to go. So and he had a big, I got the picture on my phone, but I sent it to Yvonne of a big tomb with with the headdress and all that, and that he'd bought somewhere, and he's got all sorts to do with Egypt. And I thought it was funny how Egypt is sort of calling me in now, if you like.
I love working with the gods of ancient Egypt. Just amazing. I think one of the most profound meditations I've ever had that I actually came back from crying was with Anubis and the winged disc, and I was just sobbing.
Really?
And it stayed with me. It will be with me forever. That was just one of those, sometimes you have a meditation or even a dream at night, and it is so real and so profound, and you think, oh my goodness, I'm never going to be the same again. So yeah, I do have a real strong and past lives there. So, you know, I think you've lived somewhere where you are drawn to, where you feel that real connection to. And if you go there, you feel I'm home. I'm coming home. So
yeah.
And I always used to read the Thoth tarot cards. I've got a statue of Thoth behind me, and or Tot or Tote, because they don't pronounce the H's. I always used to read those cards until I went to do a fair in Weston-super-Mare earlier this year. And I unpacked ready for the fair and realised I'd forgotten my tarot cards. I thought, Adam, Dan's husband, Adam, went to a shop and said, there's a shop here sells them, I'll go and get you some more. And he came back and he went, no Thoth tarot, because they're not, you know, mainstream. He said, so I bought you these instead. And he got me the Starman tarot, which is based on artwork done for David Bowie. And I thought, well, that was meant to be. My Thoth cards have retired. I've got these brilliant, brightly coloured, you know, really vivid, lovely, vibrant cards based on David Bowie and the artwork done for him. So I did love Egypt. I loved going there. Would love to go again another day. I know Andy's been loads of times, hasn't he? But it's just
when he said 11 times, I thought, wow.
It does draw you back. Amazing. But those pyramids are all over the world in the same formation as the three stars of Orion's belt, even on the seabed of what was Lemuria, because they've been, you know, good old Google Earth. I think they just zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, and you can see these 4 great structures on the seabed, and they're in that same alignment as well. So the Lemurian temples were pyramids. And you think, yeah, there's more to this.
Oh gosh, amazing, eh? We could talk for hours about all these amazing, you know, there's so many dimensions, and it's endless, isn't it? Literally endless.
It is. Thankfully, we never stop learning, we never stop growing. So yes, exciting times.
Oh, definitely. Right then. Right. Well, I think we've I've covered all the things. Well, we just went with the flow of things as they were coming. So it's been an absolute delight to have you on the show, and I can see why we hadn't connected before, because it was perfect timing to connect now.
Yes. Things always happen at the right time.
Yeah. When we finished, look at Mr. Shaw posing on the exciting.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me on to
Right. I thank all the team at the Healing Weekend who've given me different connections, and I thought, oh, you know, so I'm going to slot them in as and when. So so thank you so much. It's been an absolute delight listening to you, and we won't go into the stars now. We'll go off on another tangent.
We'll be here another hour.
But thank you so much, and we'll talk afterwards, and we'll meet up for a coffee.
That'll be lovely. I shall look forward to it. Bit far to come to you, Jeff, for a coffee, but we'll be thinking of you.
Thank you very much.
You can teleport.
Yeah, well, yes, I can come out of body.
No problemo. It's really nice just to listen to you girls. It's good.
Thanks very much. Thanks for arranging it all and being with techno, because that would be totally beyond me.
Ditto. This is his latest work that he spent hours on, so bless.
Dreaming the new dream, isn't that just what we're all doing? Living the new dream.
We're living the dream now, aren't we?
Yes,
bringing it into being.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for listening and tuning in. And if you're listening to replay, and it's been our pleasure to have the lovely Hilary on today.
Thank you very much, both of you.
Cool.